Okay, well, I'll call this part 2 because just as I reach this area where the Corani James Stadium, Corani James Athletic Stadium is located, just as I reach this area, a telephone call came through and perhaps the video cut off. So I'll just continue from where I left off. Because when I left off, I was speaking about where I left off, I was speaking about horse racing, the days of Captain Carlos, and all the owners of horses that used to race in Queen's Park. Yes, and I spoke for a little while about the pumping station. The pumping station used to pump out the water from Queen's Park because when rain fell, bucket a drop, as we said in Grenada. When rain fell, bucket a drop, and Queen's Park was flooded. The pumping station was used to pump out the water from the park. And of course the power station. Who remembers the power station? Picture of Dabo up there. Dabo. What do you know about Miss Dabo? Research Miss Dabo and you will know something about Queen's Park. I'll tell you about that on a different occasion. But I'm just gonna keep walking and finish off this video. Looking down there, so those of you who have not come to Grenada for a long time, you see the jetty where the tourist boats come in there, and then the tourists will walk and go into the area, the Esplanade Mall area. Yeah. Looking up at Cemetery Hill. And what you will notice about Cemetery Hill, something that will come to your mind quickly. The fact that these days, boy, nobody wants to be buried in just a little ordinary grave. Years ago, they put you in a coffin and they put you down in a grave. And that was it. Everybody wants a structure that some of them look like a little house. Look at it. And probably in years to come, if this continues, they will have to look for more space somewhere else to bury people. We have Lockwell's crematorium where they cremate the bodies. One woman said they don't cremate people, they criminate them. Boy, you know, let me tell you something. People that say all kind of thing, they criminate them. So giving a little view of the surrounding areas up there. So now I'll continue walking. This area, the buses, well, I see the buses are still speeding because when we traveled years ago on this spot, this area here, the wooden buses, man, they used to really speed. The little stretch here. Well, back then we had policemen on motorbikes. There were bikes, the BSA motorbike and the Triumph. Mr. Church, Boragi, and who remembers the Black Angel? And when those wooden buses sped along this area, boy, the police on their motorbikes were waiting for them. And especially the conductors they used to hold on to the bus on the outside of the bus. They ain't inside the bus, they hold on the outside. And the policemen didn't like that at all. So all those policemen, man, I could still picture them racing after the buses. And as those buses traveled, I think in terms of buses like Sweet Roses, Monkey Toe, all those, yeah, all those buses. There was a bus called We Have a Game. Why a man call a bus Monkey Toe? Aruba Special. I did a piece on wooden buses. And the policemen used to race after these buses, boy, and stop them. Some for overload, you know. Because some people, they used to pack up their buses. Too many people. Again, the policemen didn't like that, to charge them. Overload. If the bus was licensed to hold 20 people and you want to put 30, man, they'll get you back in those times. And then, of course, the wooden buses gave way to the small Japanese sardine cans. We have to actually squeeze in the bus. Tough driving in these small buses. But the one more buses came and I met my friend, one more. I think he was given an honor by the Bolio or the St. George's Northeast people for his contribution. Because back then all the buses were called One More. His name, and he actually was a pioneer. Because later on all those small buses speeding along the streets of Flatbush in Brooklyn. But Mr. One More, Stanley, was there long before the buses took over the streets of Brooklyn. He was there long before them. Yes, sir. How are you doing? How are you doing? Yeah, and we had to mention these things, you know, because if we don't recall our history, who will do it for us? Eh? Who will do it for us? And there are people, as I often say, they did wonderful things, yes. But you know what? You wouldn't find people talking about it now. I remember going to a library in the United States, the Brooklyn Public Library. Man, I saw all kind of stuff there. Yes, I saw stories about the early immigrants, conflicts between the Italians and the Irish. And I said to myself, you know, and probably that is one of the things that actually encouraged me to write about our people. Because I'll tell you what, there are people who you'll never see in a book. You know why? Because they're looked upon as people without class, ordinary people. But if you read M.Z. Mark's book, The Struggle to Construct and Disseminate a Philosophy of Life, you will see that Mr. M.Z. Mark, he said, there is no ordinary person. God made us all. No one is ordinary. You don't like the name ordinary people. Never liked it. Because we are all creatures, made by God. Made by God. Creatures made by God. None of us is ordinary. So I will feature someone that is looked down upon, because that person has a story to tell also. And probably a more interesting story than you will hear from those who graduated from universities and colleges. Having said that, I'll continue to walk. And of course, I'm passing an area here, looking into the area where the spot where the national stadium, the cricket stadium, I saw a World Cup match there a couple of years, 3 years ago. It was good to see a World Cup game in Grenada. And of course, going back to the days of the football teams, Autumns and Dauntless, Hanved, and all the various teams, Point. And sometimes when they played the football, which Americans call soccer, when they played, the ball would go into the river and somebody had to go and fetch the ball. Nowadays, one ball gone, they just throw in another ball. And those big leather balls, boy, those leather balls, when you see those heavy leather balls, when that gets soaked in water, when games are played in the rain, and you put that, you take a header, you head the ball, man, you have to have a strong head, because with the power of a kicks, it will feel as if it want to knock off your head. So there's the old green bridge right here, and the old bridge, the green bridge. So I'll just sit here again and taking a picture of the stadium. You have one here, the National Stadium, and then of course the Carnegie James Athletic Stadium, and the area from which I just passed up there, Cherry Hill, which of course I mentioned 1,000 times. Special, very special. Remember the gravel heap? So bringing back all these images, so some of you will look on and the memories will flow. Queen's Park, where the horses used to run. Wow, see speed, you see speed? That guy Lucky Boragi in here, you know, or Black Church. He'll catch you, he'll catch you. God bless Anthony Wendell the Riggs. So grandchildren, more knowledge for you. Blessings. One more look at the sea, where the horses used to walk. And I guess you should bathe them in the water too, years ago. Blessings.